get started into this video, there is something that I kind of really want to talk about, and it is kind of a touchy subject, and I know that going in, but I am going to discuss this because this is something that has kind of been blowing up in my comment section a lot. So, back in June, excuse me, almost 9 months ago, I made a video called, Is RuPaul's Drag Race Transphobic? And I'll have it up here somewhere. And in the video, it was actually about an article which was saying that, in general, drag was transphobic and Drag Race was transphobic and all these things. And the point of the video was to say that I didn't agree with that. I don't think Drag Race is inherently transphobic. I think there have been transphobic elements of it. Obviously, we know the very famous female or shemale challenge of season 6, which has since been taken off literally all the episodes. That was a very transphobic moment, and I think that was kind of the tipping point for Drag Race. But recently, RuPaul has come under fire for some comments she made, and I thought about dedicating a video entirely to that, and I decided that I was just going to make it a part of this video. So I want to get into my thoughts on this really quickly, and then we're going to get right into the video. So, honestly, listen, I love Ru. I love everything about Ru. And I think it's very, very important, however, to, you know, be able to say, you know what? I'm a fan of you, but I also think you were wrong in this instance. Now, I appreciate that she apologized for her comments in her Guardian interview. The problem that I had with it is now there's a larger conversation that needs to be had, because a lot of people don't even realize that it is transphobic or why it's transphobic. And part of the problem that I had with it, and really the biggest problem I had with it, was the suggestion that the only thing that makes a trans woman really a woman is, you know, going in for surgery. I think that suggestion was really what set most people off. Yes, you know, there's a lot of people who don't understand, well, if you're a woman, why wouldn't you just be a woman? Why would you want to be a drag queen and all that kind of thing? And I'm not going to argue that point because I am not a trans drag queen. I am just a trans woman. I will say that Drag Race provided me an outlet that allowed me to sort of explore my gender identity for the first time and kind of led me to the realization that I was trans, but I am not a drag queen, and so I don't really know, you know, that whole aspect of it. I do know, however, that if you are a person who does drag, it is your job. The same way you can be a man and not want to be a woman and still be a drag queen is how you can be a trans woman and still be a drag queen. It's your job. It's what you do. So I really don't understand that sort of suggestion that somehow that becomes, you know, oh, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Well, that's not really related. I also don't understand the suggestion that somehow estrogen makes you more likely to do well on the show, as if estrogen is somehow something that is, yes, it makes you more feminine for the most part, but I don't really see it as something that's going to help you go further. There have been plenty of queens who were on estrogen on their season who didn't win the show, Jiggly Caliente being one of them. There are also queens who look very feminine who probably, as far as we know, have never been on estrogen, but still didn't win. You know, there are plenty of butch queens, such as Bob the Drag Queen and Bianca Del Rio, who did win their season. So I don't get this idea that somehow being on estrogen and being more feminine looking somehow gives you an unfair advantage. I really don't see that. If we're all doing the same type of very overdramatic makeup, then I don't feel like being, you know, if you walk out there in just, you know, Courtney Act brand chapstick and mascara, you're going to get red because, you know, some people don't even think that's drag. And so that's a whole other conversation of what determines drag now. You know, if you look too femme, is that drag that's lazy? If you look, you know, too dramatic, is that drag enough? Like, there's all these conversations about this, and they're really valid conversations. But again, my biggest issue goes back to, there was a point where Ru was talking about Peppermint and said that because she hadn't had breast implants, that was what allowed her to be on the show. And I personally feel like that's a pretty shitty thing to say, to be honest with you. And that's all I got to say about that. I'm your host, not for possession, Narcissa Deville, and welcome to hell. So let's start though with Miss Bendela's self-elimination. Holy shit snacks. Now, like I said in the last video, I knew this was coming. This wasn't necessarily a surprise to me. I did know this was coming mostly because of things like Reddit, which is now kind of facing a lawsuit, or at least the person who leaked all this information is facing a lawsuit. But seeing it was, you know, listen, seeing it is still more intense. It's still more like shocking. And I know that the queens were kind of like, what did this bitch just do? And I was rewatching it because I had VH1 on while I was finishing up my makeup, and I love the look on Shangela's face. She's like, okay, like she was just so gagged that she was just like, you know what? I'm not even going to ask at this point, because I think she was like, I can't even at this point. It's just like, it's too much. It's too much. So, BB decided in this episode that she wasn't going to reveal who she planned to send home, which I thought was very strategic and very, very shady, but I can kind of see what her thought process was there. Obviously, she felt, you know, her whole argument, though, that she's gonna respect Dela's privacy, or Dela's decision, whatever the hell she said. I was like, okay, girl, if you say so. I'm not buying it, but excuse me, I'm not buying it, but you do you, boo. So then, of course, we had Miss Nancy Pelosi as a little guest appearance. I think there was some confusion because originally I was under the impression that she was going to be a guest judge on an episode. Somewhere there was a miscommunication about that, but she actually was just a guest star, and it was really, really cute and really, really touching, although she did look fully uncomfortable, I'll be honest. But it was a really cute and really touching moment. I'm a huge, huge fan of hers. They are all clearly huge, huge fans of hers. I mean, Trixie was literally in tears, which was like sweet and sad at the same time. But I was like, okay, girl, you know, I feel that. And so it was just a really sweet, cute moment. And I liked how they had like a very political aspect to it. And they did the segment about calling your representatives at the end. I thought that was really, really smart. PSA, and God knows we need all the help we can get right now, and talking about voting and how important that is. So I really just liked the whole segment all around. I almost wish it would have been for like a political challenge, kind of like they did in 2012, or for season 4, but you know, I guess I get it in a way, you know, a little bit, maybe. No? Oh, it's backwards. So the main challenge for this week was, let me see if I can read this, because this is a long one. My best Squirrelfriend's Dragsmaids wedding trip, which, girl, you couldn't have come up with a shorter title? Shit. So this challenge was kind of a mismatch of the favorite genres of like Bridesmaids meets like Erin Brockovich, which is clearly, you know, what the theme is. So we have some special characters. We have Sharon Frockovich, which is played by Miss Trixie Mattel. We have the Queen, who's played by BB, which she was very confused about and did not like, which I actually feel like it was appropriate, so I don't know why she was bitter about it. She was the first person I thought of when it came to the Queen, so when they picked her, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Then there was Octavia, which of course was played by Shangela. I love this cute little, like, going for both The Help and Hidden Figures with Octavia Spencer. I was like, yes, bitch, get it. Then we had the Beige Swan, which was played by Morgan Mcmichaels. Oh, we'll get into it. And lastly, we had Lala, who was played by Kennedy Davenport. Now, originally, Kennedy and Trixie both wanted the Lala role. I think it's probably, I don't know what to say. Like, it's one of those roles that ended up being very, like, underwhelming. And honestly, I thought Kennedy generally was underwhelming in this performance, as was BB, frankly. But of all of them, obviously, Morgan did the absolute worst. Her beige swan, you know what the ironic thing is for that is she played it very beige, and so unfortunately that kind of really ended up being a middle of the road performance for her, and it was really, really weird because it was either really good or really just kind of meh. Obviously Shangela did amazing. Shangela is always funny. You know, they kind of had references to the whole chocolate pie scene from The Help, which, you know, there is no way that joke is never not funny as far as I'm concerned. And then, of course, Trixie did a very, like, slutty version of Erin Brockovich, or I guess sluttier, which, frankly, is one of my favorite movies. So I kind of like that they added that in, and I thought Trixie looked gorgeous as she did it. So for this week's runway, we had the red for Filth Runway, which is what this is kind of inspired by. I found out last minute, so don't come for me in the comments. I know you will anyway, but don't do it, bitch. So I was really in love with Ru's very, like, I feel like it's like neon red hollow is kind of what I got from this look. It was so, so stunning. And I'm looking at it again now because it's just so beautiful. It's got like tinges of orange in it, which maybe is what's convincing me that it's hollow, because it looks like orange and pink in there a little bit. But it's just like this gorgeous, just neon red. It's so... I mean, honestly, when does Ru not look good? I mean, let's be real. At this point, she could probably come out in a potato sack and look pretty fucking sickening. But this outfit in particular, I think, is one of my favorites of the season. So, toot. I don't do that, but that's still gorgeous. So, for the first look, we had Miss Bibi Zahara Benet, again, giving you very Club Kid. Something about this challenge was very reminiscent of, like, the Club Kid challenge of season 9. I saw a lot of looks that kind of very much gave you that vibe. It was a very, like, I don't want to say simple dress, but it was very, like, tailored and gorgeous and peplum, which I'm obsessed with. But it also had, like, this really gorgeous face mask, not dissimilar to Valentina's, although she did take hers off, so there's that. But it was really, really gorgeous, but definitely gives you that very Club Kid vibe, which I like that they're embracing, but didn't necessarily expect from BB, if that makes sense. Especially since Kennedy was kind of our Club Kid of the season. I was actually a little bit gagged. Next up, we had Miss Kennedy Davenport giving you dripping in Ruby's realness. It's very like Ruby Slipper, Wizard of Oz. It's really, really a gorgeous dress. Comparatively, though, after seeing BB, it's almost like, it's a little disappointing to me. I love it, and don't get me wrong, I think it's gorgeous. Kennedy looks gorgeous, has looked gorgeous a lot this season, but it's like, it's oddly a letdown, even though it's got more jewels and it's really sparkly. Somehow it's a letdown in comparison, you know what I mean? So next up we had Miss Morgan Mcmichaels giving you very, I'm trying to figure out how to explain this look. It's really, really cute. It's very, like, Irish inspired. It's interestingly A-line. Like, she's got this huge puff over here and then no sleeve over here. She's got this gorgeous shirt. I love the, like, hair curl. It's a really, really good look on Morgan. And Morgan always looks good, but this particular look I was really, really pleased with and thought was really, really cute. It's just very, like, slutty, but also fully, historical somehow, if that makes sense. Like a historical slut. Then we had Miss Shangela giving you, damn, this is giving me, oh God, what is her name? I can always remember the name of her headpiece, but I can never remember her name, which is kind of sad. Her headpiece was more well known than she was. It's giving you very, like, very updated, vivacious vibes with like the horns coming off. Again, it's another very club kid look, and I love how they like the horns like rise as she walks. Like, that was fucking sickening. I love this hair thing going down. It reminds me of the hair challenge from season 3 that ended up sending Shangela home, but like really, really well done. I think everything about Shangela looks gorgeous in this. I mean, she always looks gorgeous, but I'm really kind of impressed with how everyone seems to be going for this club kid look for this. I really didn't expect that, but something about this challenge, I think, for these queens has gone really over the top club kid, and I think it's really fucking cool. So next up we have Miss Trixie Mattel giving you very like nerdy Dolly Parton realness in this look. It is so fucking cute. It also, you know what it gives me? A little like the suspenders and her very like 1900s top. It gives me a little bit of like something you might find at like Disneyland. It's very like that old-fashioned type of deal, like Main Street. And then the hair gives you Dolly Parton, and the books, it's just so fucking cute. Obviously, listen, I'm obsessed with Trixie. I love everything she does. I love all of her outfits. I'm a little biased, but this outfit to me is so fucking cute. I can't even stand it. I actually like the outfit she did in the lip sync better, because obviously top 2 was Shangela and Trixie. Sorry about it. Spoiler alert. But I actually really loved the look Trixie did in the lip sync, almost even better. And I kind of knew, like, I don't know, it was really, really cute, and we'll get into that in a second. But I just thought Trixie's look here was so fucking cute, and I have to give it up to her. So that kind of left, I guess I kind of spoiled it already. So Trixie and Shangela, I almost said Trixie and Katya, excuse me. Trixie and Shangela were in the top 2 this week, leaving everyone else in the bottom. So I kind of suspected, to be honest, that that's kind of how this was going to go. Trixie and Shangela definitely got the best reviews. Kennedy got ho-hum reviews. BB got ho-hum reviews. And I have to ask the question, why is it nobody seems willing to send BB home? Like, there's this thing where BB has done okay, but not great, but somehow nobody seems to even consider sending her home. It's a really weird thing, and I'm not going to say rigomoris, but I am going to say rigomoris. That's all I'm saying. Something's up with that bitch. I don't know. I don't trust it. It's very suspicious and very shady. So, you know, there was a little bit of drama, a little bit of cheerfulness. I think we all kind of knew how this was going to go down. The song in question... What the fuck does that say? Oh. The song was Freaky Money by RuPaul. One of my favorite songs. I love this. Now, Trixie came out in this very Aja-inspired look. It's pink. It's very, very cute. And then she's got this green, lime green. I actually know what wig that is. I believe that is the color Slime by Wigs and Grace. I'm not sure. Maybe Fatima or Esmeralda, one of those. I know it's one of those. It's just so gorgeous. I'm pretty sure it's Wigs and Grace. So fucking cute. So fucking her. But also, because it's that tint of green, it's very, like, it feels like Aja should be wearing it. And then Miss Shangela came out kind of looking a little much. And I knew there was going to be a reveal because it was, like, so much going on. I was like, I don't trust this. So, of course, Miss Shangela had a trick up her sleeve. And she takes off her little robe. And she had a... The only way I can describe it is it was a fat suit and a bikini on, and I was like, oh, okay, bitch, okay. So you're going for the comedy aspect. Honestly, listen, I love Miss Trixie, but that bitch didn't stand a chance. When you go for the comedy aspect, I think Trixie kind of tried, but ultimately it didn't work out. When you go for the comedy aspect, chances are you're going to win. Dela really knocked it out of the ballpark with a few lip syncs going for comedy, especially the I Kissed a Girl lip sync, which frankly still nothing has topped that this season, but I digress. So obviously Miss Shangela was the winner, and I think it was pretty obvious who she was going to choose. I didn't really have any doubts in my mind who she was going to choose. I knew she was never going to send home Kennedy. And frankly, I knew somehow she wasn't going to send home BB, because even though she seemed unclear whether or not she should send home BB, it just seemed very unlikely. And so that left one and only Morgan Mcmichaels was once again sent home. And I have to say, her performance was pretty run-of-the-mill, and like I said, her performance was probably the worst out of all of them, so frankly, I can't entirely disagree with it. Alrighty. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below. Tell me, what was your favorite look? Who are you rooting for this season? Are you Team Trixie, Team Kennedy, Team BB, or Team Shangela? Comment down below. I'm really curious to know how everyone is feeling. And of course, please give me a subscribe. I just got to 100 and I'm so proud of this channel and so thankful to all of you out there who have subscribed to me. I really appreciate that. And as always, stay shady.